The New England Patriots have signed several of their key players to contract extensions in this offseason, including Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Barmore, as well as Jelani Tavai. But star edge rusher Matthew Judon, who's in the last year of his contract, has not been given an extension, and it doesn't look like anyone is coming anytime soon. A fan tagged Judon in a tweet last Wednesday, pleading with the Patriots to pay the man what he wants, to which Judon responded with, "I don't think that's going to happen," and then a couple hours later, this is basically what took place. I'm a head out, which then sent the Patriots fans into a frenzy on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. So it looks like Matthew Judon is either not going to get an extension or is not that happy with the New England Patriots and their whole contract ordeal with negotiating with him. I would like to know, though, do you think the Patriots should give the contract extension that a lot of fans, and we'll see if you think so as well, do you think he deserves a contract extension?
I think he deserves it. I'm not sure they'll give it to him. Their defense played quite well without him, and once they got it reorganized there a little bit, they hurt a little bit the first couple of games he was out, but then their defense was great the last half of the season. Really very, very strong without him in there. Without Gonzalez in there, too. Their other big player who's going to be back. They signed Barmore. Barmore had a great season last year. They have Keon White, who it will be in his second season. So I think they probably think they could get along without him. He has 1 year left on his contract. It's only $7.5 million. I mean, his mistake was he didn't sign for a big enough contract. He had a 4-year, $54 million contract. That's like 14th in edge rusher average annual salary. I think you've got these stats, and you're probably going to show them here. There's some huge contracts out there for edge rushers. Look at Nick Bosa. 5 years, $170 million. Now, Matthew Judon is not another Nick Bosa, but he's as good as many of these guys on this list, and he's last on the list, and he's only going to make $7.5 million this year. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he had 15.5 sacks the year before last, 60 tackles, made his second Pro Bowl. I think the Pats want him back, but there's no deal yet, and probably be a while before we know whether there's going to be one or not. And whether he risks holding out or not, I don't know. He did say, "I feel very blessed at this place in my career. I'm not going to take it for granted." He said he could be on the street, not making any money. And instead, he's made all this money playing NFL football, which is enough for, the rest of his life for sure, even with a $54.5 million contract for 4 years. That's still a lot of money in his bank account. So do I think I'd love to see him get the extension. I love the Patriots, and I like him. I think he was a big difference maker. Now, whether he'll have the kind of success in the scheme of the new defensive coordinator as opposed to Belichick and company remains to be seen. Maybe not. But they did have a great scheme for him before. He shined. When he was healthy, he was fantastic. He's 32 years old, maybe getting on the little high side there for edge rusher. But I think he deserves an extension. Will the Pats give it to him? I'm not so sure.
Well, I 100% think he deserves an extension because what he's done with the New England Patriots since he's been there, since coming from the Baltimore Ravens, the growth has been insane, and even, you would argue, maybe a defender doesn't have the lifespan of a quarterback, nowhere near the lifespan of a quarterback. They kind of, I think in most cases, have the lifespan of a very good running back. By low mid-30s, the chance of you getting another contract are basically zero. But when it comes to Judon, right, he never ever eclipsed single digits in sacks with the Baltimore Ravens. The highest he had came in 2019 when he had 9.5. Since coming to the Patriots, year 1, 12.5. Year 2, 15.5. Year 3, he got hurt in year 3 this past season, but in 4 games, he had 4 sacks. So let's just say, we'll do averages here. He got 17 sacks, just for the sake of averages. But you know what? He did get 4 sacks, so let's keep it actual. Why don't we? But I did show the graphic earlier, and I'll bring it up again. These are the edge rushers, and this is based on Spot Track defining what an edge rusher is. I know there's some defensive ends in here, but mainly this is outside linebackers, although a decent amount of defensive ends are mixed in there. These are great contracts, large contracts. Josh Allen just got paid. And so I crunched some numbers, right? I love statistics, as a lot of you out there have pointed it out. So let's do sacks. Why don't we? Sacks is a very crucial stat. It makes the offense lose a bunch of yards, kill more clock depending on untimely situations, and really disrupts any momentum an offense could have. Well, Matt Judon, since he arrived at the Patriots, has had 32 sacks. Would you believe only 5 other players have more sacks than Matt Judon? Max Crosby, 5. So it's Max Crosby, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Josh Allen has the same, so maybe 4, and then Nick Bosa has 2 more sacks and is making, $120 total million more? That's insane. Absolutely insane. Harold Landry, let's bring up the list again. Harold Landry, 9.5 fewer. Jonathan Grenard, 10 fewer. Leonard Williams, 17.5 fewer. Von Miller, 14.5 fewer. Now, some of these guys obviously were banged up and hurt. Bradley Chubb, 13 fewer. Rashawn Gary, 7.5 fewer. Brian Burns is probably the closest at 2.5 fewer. But Matt Judon's production since he came to the Patriots has been incredible. 32 sacks in really 2 years. 2 1/3 years. About, give or take. 4 years. So, I think Matt Judon 100% deserves to get a big contract. Now, it really depends on what the contract is. Because if he's asking for Nick Bosa money, he's probably not going to get it. And it's very difficult for the Patriots to give him a massive deal strictly because of his age. He's going to turn 32 in like 40 days from now, give or take a few. So if you're going to give a guy who's coming off of a bad injury, cost him the season, if I'm not mistaken, it was a torn bicep. He only played 4 games. You're going to give him, let's just say for the sake of the argument, I'm not sure if he gave a number out, but let's say a 4-year contract, he'll be 35. If you're going to give him $170 million, I don't think truthfully, he's not worth that kind of money. But do I think he could be worth, let's just say, $22 million a year for the amount of production he's had? 100%.
And how many years?
You'd probably give him 4 years.
4 years?
Yes, 4 years.
I don't think the Patriots are going to do that.
Well, and actually someone agrees with you because
that's almost $70 million.
Alex Ballantyne of Bleach Report says, quote, "This is going to be a multi-year rebuild even if Gerard Mayo and his staff are the right guys for the job. So the likelihood of Matthew Judon, who's going to be 32 when the season starts, will be part of the rebuild is unlikely." So he thinks actually the Patriots should put him up for a trade and get as much value as you can right now for him. Instead of having to deal with the contract and letting him go and then eventually getting nothing for him.
That might be the wise move, but the Patriots fans won't like that.
So, how about you?
I wouldn't like it. I enjoy watching him play. He's an exciting player to watch. He's very productive. He's creative out there. He's got the athleticism and the strength and to get the sacks and the scheme the Patriots put out there for him. He as you say, he had the most sacks in the last several years there. Of any of these players, some of these guys.
Not the most, but
I thought
very few players have more sacks than since he came to the Patriots.
Over the period of time. He only played 4 games last year.
Right.
He had a sack in every game.
Right.
Yeah.
But But what I'm saying is, in his 3 years with the Patriots, he has 32 sacks.
Yeah.
There are 4 players that have more than him, and 1 player, Josh Allen of the Jaguars, is tied with him.
Okay, and look at the money.
The others, though, the other 10,
his 4-year deal, $54 million. Leonard Williams got $64 million for 3 years.
He has 17.5 fewer sacks.
Yeah. Some of these guys, Chubb, 5 years, $110 million. T.J. Watt, 4 years, $112 million. Von Miller, I'm sure Buffalo would love to take that deal back. 6 years, $120 million. He did nothing last year. Nothing. He was in the playoffs. He started to shine a little bit, but he really didn't do much at all. I'm sure they're very disappointed in him. He had some off-field problems. And he's still got a long way to go on that contract, and it's $120 million.
Yeah.
So I think Matthew Judon is worth more than what they're saying, but in the Patriots situation, as you just pointed out, the rebuild and all of that, and he's 32. Maybe they will trade him. We'll see.
The logic behind it is the Jets traded for Hassan Reddick. The Eagles got Hassan Reddick or traded him away for a conditional third-round pick to send him to the New York Jets. If the Patriots, if they do decide to get rid of him, could save $6.7 million in cap space, as well as if they trade him for, I guess, draft picks would be the most likely outcome of a Judon trade. You get more draft capital. Mm-hmm. The main problem with that is you don't need the cap space. I believe you're number one next year anyway.
Okay, well...
The great players, the really good players, and the main hole is receiver for the Patriots. All the great receivers are signed for the next 3-4 seasons anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think that the other thing that could dictate a trade is the defense played well without him. And they had the Keon White, a second-year player now, stepped up, and he played better as the year went on. And the defensive line actually was better last year for the Patriots. And you have Tavai, who really stepped up. I mean, they gave him the extension.
Right.
And you have Juwan Bentley, who was not a bad linebacker back there too. So, and the secondary is strong, right? Yeah.
Well, another
Julius
thing.
Peppers, he had a very good year last year. He'll be back.
The value of
Was it
Peppers?
Julia?
You're
Peppers.
right. Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers, right?
The value of Judon on the Patriots, though, like I said, he has 32 sacks. The next highest Patriot has 17.
Yeah,
and that's Josh Uche, and he is like several spots down from number 14 on the contract list. But sacks wise, he's very far down. So if it's that large of a gap, it's either you need to coach up defense and get to the quarterback much more, or you have to give, Judon a decent extension. Mm-hmm. Keon White, you could maybe say, is, the ringer to replace Matthew Judon, but the production level of it, this would be his third year in the league? Second year in the league, you're right. He's not there. Barmore, nice extension, got paid. Godshaw, he hasn't produced the level that you would expect. Belichick liked him. It wasn't able to produce. So the fact that it's that far of a distance, and not only that, screw sacks. How about just disrupting the quarterback and maybe bothering a little bit with QB hits? So Matt Judon, since 2021, where he came to the Patriots, has 62. There's, again, same list of people. Let's bring it up again. Same list of people with more money than him. We're seeing several of these guys, Williams, Highsmith, Grenard, Landry, Chubb, Von Miller, Brian Burns, all have fewer quarterback hits than Judon. Now, the one real outlier, I guess there's two technically, but the one massive outlier is Nick Bosa at 115. Judon has 62. 115 to 62. That's where a large part of the money comes in. Also just disrupting running lanes, pressuring the quarterback, not necessarily getting
There's a lot of other stats.
Right. There's some
yeah.
stuff that doesn't exactly get put on a stat sheet. And that's why Nick Bosa is so dominant. Matt Judon, and you've said this before on the show, back half of the season, where the hell is Judon? Where is he? He disappears sometimes in the big-time games where you double-team him. He can't get loose. He can't break free from the offensive line.
That should be an opportunity for the other players to step up, and so they have to make another adjustment that lets Judon have a chance there. And that's something that didn't happen. So,
yeah, no, 100% agree with you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.